Good evening, and welcome everyone. The regular notice of requirement of the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act has been complied with, and an adequate advance notice of this meeting was given at least 48 hours in advance. On August 17th, 2023, notice was mailed to the Carrier Post, Philadelphia Inquirer, and posted on the district website. Prepare for roll call, please.
Ms. Alvarez. Ms. Gillespie.
Present.
Mr. Gonzalez. Mr. Hudson.
Present.
Ms. Jackson. Mr. Labor Martinez.
Present.
Ms. Merritz. Vice President Nelson.
Present.
President Muhammad.
Present.
We have a flag.
Thank you. Would everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. We turn it back over to the district.
At this time, I'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes of the June 27th, 2023 meeting.
Motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Hudson. Do we have a second? Second by Ms. Gillespie. All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, adoption is approved. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we'll ask for a motion to go into closed executive session for approximately 20 minutes for matters of personnel discussion. Do we have a motion?
Motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Hudson. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Gillespie. All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, ladies and gentlemen, the board will be going into closed executive session now at 5:32 for approximately 20 minutes for matters of personnel discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the few extra minutes this evening. Please vote for the record show that Board Member Gonzalez did join the board as of 5:35 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, may I please have a motion to close executive session and return to open public session, please?
Motion to return.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none, as of 6:02 p.m., we are back into public session. At this time, we'll now have our committee reports, and our committee that will be reporting out this evening is our Policy and Governance Committee. Reporting out on behalf of the committee is Board Member Hudson.
Good evening, everyone. The entire board met on August 12th for our annual board retreat at the central office, where we discussed the CUSAC, did an overview of that, and also held trainings on our strategic priorities for the district, OPMA and OPRA requests, training and development of our board goals and our board charter. The Policy and Governance Committee held our meeting on Tuesday, August 29th. It was attended by myself, Board President Muhammad, Sam Price, and Teresa Reese. We only have one policy up for discussion today, and that's the second reading for revisions to policy 6146 regarding graduation requirements. And the committee is requesting revisions to the graduation requirements policy to require 2 additional courses needed to graduate, beginning with the incoming freshman class for the 2023-24 school year. All students will be required to complete at least 2.5 credits in African American studies and 2.5 credits in Latinx studies as a part of the 120 total minimum credits needed in order to meet the district's graduation requirement. Is there any questions from board members? Okay.
Cameron, I just want to take this opportunity to thank the district for working hard through the years to making sure that our young people get a start in knowledge of self. And that's very, very important to the educational process. So I know it took some time, but we kept working at it and working at it over the years, and it finally was done. So I want to point that out. and let the community know, put an asterisk on that part. I think that's important when it comes to Black and brown children in our community. Just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Board President. Anybody else? Okay, I would like to make a motion to recommend the adoption of the revisions of policy 6146.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second, and we'll conduct a roll call to adopt and accept policy 6146 regarding graduation requirements. Ms. Gillespie.
Accept.
Mr. Gonzalez.
Yes.
Mr. Hudson.
Yes.
Mr. Leyva Martinez.
Yes.
Vice President Nelson.
Yes.
President Muhammad.
Yes.
Motion carries, and the revised policy 6146 is hereby adopted. At this time, I'll now turn the meeting over to the superintendent for the superintendent's PowerPoint presentation.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask the board to transition down to the first few rows for our superintendent's report. All right, good evening, everyone. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to our August regular monthly advisory board meeting. Before we move any further with the business of the meeting and sharing our updates, I want to take this opportunity to pause for a moment of silence. The two individuals that you see on the screen were an integral part of the Camden City School District community in the present as well as in the years past. Ms. Helena Barrios was a special education teacher at Caddo. She worked for the district for 24 years and was a dedicated educator. She was hired on September 1st, 1999. Ms. Betty Ray Herring was a CCSD administrator. She was a teacher and a principal at Powell, Lincoln, Challenge Square, and Camden High School, and was just someone who loved life, loved teaching, and had just such an exuberant personality. So we want to take this opportunity to honor these two individuals in their passing with just a moment of silence. Thank you. So as with all of our board meetings tonight, as you see on the screen, you see a few of the focal areas that we will cover this evening. And on the very next slide, what we want to do is to make sure that our parents who may be viewing this meeting on our YouTube channel, who may not have been able to be here tonight, we want them to know that we are anxiously awaiting their young people. We're looking forward to them. We are prepared. We are ready to receive them. And we want to just take this opportunity to remind our families on how to prepare for back to school, how to get ready. What are those things that they should focus on? So just a few quick tips. We want our parents to register or sign in to the Genesis Parent Portal. That is the way that they will be able to receive communications. We will still send out paper flyers, hard copies, but this is a way for them to quickly access information on their child's progress as well as the goings-on in their children's schools. We also want our parents to review the district and school calendars for the year and save those dates on their personal calendar. So our board-approved calendar has been posted for a few months now. And so again, we remind our families, take a look at the calendar just to make sure you're aware of what days are off so that if you need to make other arrangements, you can do so early on. Introduce yourself to your child's teachers. It's so important. Education is about working together. Our schools and family, community working together to uplift our young people. So make sure you know your child's teacher, have contact information so that you can begin that partnership, because it is just that partnership in ensuring your children's success. Ask how you can be involved. There are so many ways, and I'm going to share a few later in the presentation, that parents can be involved. We want our parents to be involved. We are set up to ensure that involvement. And so, again, we look forward to you being a part of the educational process. Learn how you can stay connected. get in touch with your teacher, your child's principal, guidance counselor. Make yourself available so that you are connected and your voice can be heard when it comes to those areas that impact our children's education. And finally, create a self-care plan, a self-care plan. We all need it, no matter what role we are in as human beings. But as parents, we want to make sure that you are able to create that self-care plan so that you have wellness for yourself. And as we are working and partnering together, we can ensure that we are a healthy community wrapped around our young people and helping them to succeed. You'll hear more tips and information as you engage with your child's school. The next slide is extremely critical, and I wanted to put it toward the front of the presentation because this is a call to action. We need to ensure that you are aware as the board, as well as our families, how important it is for us to shine a light and are in school every day. So attendance matters. That's the headline. Attendance matters. Attendance matters. And so our slogan for the year will be attend today and achieve tomorrow. Because we know that without our young people having consistent good attendance, they won't be able to even benefit from the great lessons and learning experiences and opportunities that we are working to provide them with. And so this is just a quick visual. You see the green, the yellow, and the red. Satisfactory attendance. When do absences become an issue? As you can see, you see warning signs from 10 to 17 days absent. And in the red, chronic absenteeism is defined as having 18 or more absences in one school year. Prior to the pandemic, the district, and historically, the district has struggled with chronic absenteeism. We were at about 30% of our students who were chronically absent. That's way too many. And during the pandemic, that number went up to 50% of our students were chronically absent. During the last school year, we're back to pre-pandemic levels with 30% of our young people chronically absent, and that's still too many. It's way too many, and when we look at all of those days and all of those students, that factors into our students' ability to show what they know. If they're not here, they're not going to be able to demonstrate their learning. So attendance matters. Why? Students should miss no more than 9 days of school each year to stay engaged, successful, and on track for graduation. Frequent absences can be a sign that a student is losing interest in school, struggling with schoolwork, dealing with a bully, or facing other difficulties. And missing 10%, or that's 2 days a month when you think about it, missing 10% of all of the days of instruction over the course of the school year can affect a student's academic success. So what can families do to help encourage good attendance? One, make school attendance a priority in your home. Join us in our campaign this year. You'll see many things that are going to happen where we're actively promoting attendance and good attendance. Join us, partner with us. Also, talk about the importance of showing up to school every day. This is with our older students because we know our younger students, they don't have a choice. They have to depend on their parents. But our older students sometimes have a choice. With our older students, have those conversations with them at home about the importance of being in school every day, as well as our younger children, making sure that they are here. Help your teen maintain daily routines, such as finishing homework and getting a good night's sleep. And finally, if your teens must stay home because they are sick, make sure they have asked teachers for resources and materials to make up for the missed learning time in the classroom. So again, those are just quick strategies and steps, but we are going to, again, launch a full-out campaign. We are launching one today on how we're going to combat chronic absenteeism in the Camden City School District. And on the next slide, these are the specific and intentional district action steps to addressing student absenteeism. And you can see them listed: 1 to 2 days, 3 to 4 days, 5 to 9 days, and what happens at 10 or more days. Once a student has 10 unexcused absences. We're not going to wait till 18, but once they have 10, actually once every day, there's a robocall that goes out automatically if students are absent. That will continue. But once a student has 10 excused absences, the district can refer the parent or guardian to municipal court for truancy and will be doing so. Prior to initiating a court referral, the district will take all other available steps to encourage the student to attend school, of course, such as conducting home visits, referrals to community-based resources, and considering alternating educational placements. Or alternative educational placements. If your child is having difficulty attending school due to illness or other reasons, please keep the communication lines open. Reach out to the school, reach out to the attendance team, or the Solution Center for assistance. And again, this information will be shared out on all of our outlets and sent home with our young people, because we want to make sure it's very clear up front and that we're being transparent with what the consequences are. And we are partnering with other organizations in the city, as well as the mayor's office. We are also partnering with those individuals who do work in this area of reducing chronic absenteeism in school districts. So the plan is going to be not just what the district is going to do, but how are we going to link up with other individuals in the city who are concerned about all of Camden's children and the absenteeism and the truancy that has existed. So again, partner with us, because we are moving forward. Attend today and achieve tomorrow is our banner. And the next slide, we want to always remember those students who have been disengaged from school for whatever reason. So we have a campaign going, Drop Back In. We started this last summer and even before that after the pandemic, but if there are individuals between the ages of 14 and 21 who have dropped out or fallen behind or have not been attending school, we are here to help, and we have the resources, we have the people in place, and we will support you in connecting with whatever that educational setting is that will be best for you. Just reach out to 856-966-2507 and you'll get that support. Again, that's 856-966-2507. This can be for students who have dropped out. This can be for parents, grandparents who have a loved one who is not in school. It's not too late. Have them come back and we will support them on the path to completing their high school career. Next slide, as we transition into the beginning of the school year, start and end times, we want to make sure it's very clear. We did send this out over the summer, but we are keeping the same start and end times that we had in place last year. So for our early childhood centers, elementary schools, family schools, and Morgan Village Middle School, the starting bell is 8:40 a.m. and the dismissal time is 3 o'clock p.m. For high schools, the starting bell is 9 o'clock a.m. and the dismissal time is 3:20 p.m. Again, we stagger it in that way because we know that some of our older students may have to make sure that their younger students get to school before they are able to go to school themselves. So this allows for that. Just a reminder, we are keeping the same schedule. And so, now that we know what our high priority areas are for the year and our start and end times, I want to talk about how we've been preparing for our young people. So our teams have been busy, our facilities team, our custodians, working together over the summer on many, many, many facilities projects. We are just highlighting a few. So Davis School now has a new roof that has been placed on that building. It's been long overdue for many, 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 many years. And so we are glad that that project is coming to completion and will be finished before the first day of school. In the center, you'll see a new multi-purpose room floor at Forest Hill. That floor had issues many over the years. It's been patched, but now that floor has been replaced, and so our students will be able to be in a multi-purpose room. That shows that we value them, and we are also having other upgrades added. The wall padding in the gym will be nice and bright, so it's inviting for our young people. And then the next slide, you see new athletic bleachers, the next photo on this slide. At both our Eastside High School and Camden High, we have a project underway. where new bleachers are being installed. So again, we are moving forward. Next slide. If you take a look here, you'll see Davis School, once again, one of our oldest buildings, got some more TLC. The library, you'll see it's bright. There's new carpeting. Things have been arranged, so it's very appealing for our young people to want to go in to a library and spend some time studying there. It looks really, really good, and the Davis School family is pleased. I believe that principal is here tonight, Principal Montague. Yes. Are you pleased? Yes, thank you. Just want to make sure. But again, we are all happy to be able to make sure that these upgrades are in place. Exterior doors. For many years in the district, we've talked about we need to replace our doors. Rodents can get in if the doors are not sealed correctly. It doesn't look nice. It's not visually appealing, and it's just not safe when our doors are not secure. And so we have many exterior doors that have been enhanced throughout the district due to the hard work of our facilities team under the leadership of our Chief Operating Officer and Board Secretary, Mr. Cox. If you keep looking, the gymnasium upgrades at Vet School. So if you look at that picture on the far end over there, the far left, you'll see, if you look up at that, if you remember what it looked like before, I have a visual in my mind, but it's bright. The ceiling has been completely replaced. The lighting looks so bright and inviting, and there are other improvements that are also being made to the gymnasium at Vets. So again, these are the dollars that are at work, and there are more updates that we will continue to provide the board with as they are moving forward. And also, if you know, aside from our typical classroom cleaning, which occurs every summer, this year our custodial staff took on the extensive task of stripping, waxing, and buffing every classroom, every hallway, and office, and cafeteria floor across the district. This was the first time the custodial staff undertook a project of this magnitude in quite a number of years. We were fortunate enough to be able to ensure they had the necessary equipment and supplies to make this work a reality, and just look at the floors shine. I was saying earlier that you could ice skate on those floors, so look at them now before the feet get on them, but we are ready, and we want our young people and families to know that we are very serious about creating environments that show our young people that they are valued. And so again, our staff is proud. If you see them, please encourage them. Our custodians who are even in this building, let them know, hey, we appreciate all that you're doing, and they are doing an outstanding job. Next, on the operations side of the house, transportation. Transportation for every eligible student. I remember a few years back, we were coming to the board saying, we don't know what we're going to do. We don't have bus drivers. We don't have this or that. But this year, again, every single student eligible for transportation has a seat on the bus for the first day of school. And so our transportation team has the buses prepared for another great year of education. While many areas of our state and country are still struggling with bus driver shortages, we are pleased to announce that every single student, as I said before, who's eligible for transportation in Camden City, that's across charter Renaissance schools because we bus them as well, will have a seat and have had a seat for those that have already started on the first day of school. We have expanded our district fleet again. So we've expanded our own bus fleet again, and we'll be running more than half of mileage routes. We have partnered with Holcomb and First Student to fill our special services routes and remaining mileage routes. All bus passes have been distributed. Please contact the transportation department with any questions. Job well done. Moving on to technology. Chromebooks distribution. All K through 8th grade students will receive their Chromebooks on the first day of school, and for our grades 9 through 12, Chromebooks will be distributed on the respective high school campuses, as has been done in the past. So we have prioritized getting our Chromebooks out right away, so that again, we are committed, a district that is committed to digital learning, and so we want to make sure our young people have those devices right away. So we're looking forward to ensuring that those devices go out. So I want to shift gears for a second from the operational side of the house. Operational excellence is important if we're going to have academic excellence as well. But I want to step back for a second and just bring to our attention again that there are students in our district who are of the middle school age who are older than their peers in the classroom because they have fallen behind for whatever reason, whether they were retained before or they just lost traction during the pandemic. We want to support them in getting back on track so that they can transition into high school and be on track. I want to publicly acknowledge, and this won't be the last time, but in the presence of the board, Assemblyman Bill Spearman, who was definitely a champion of the district and was able to connect the district with NOLA Education out of New Orleans and the state of New Jersey, so that it positioned the district to receive a grant of $1 million over the course of 3 years, so adding up to $3 million, in order to bring the STAR Academy, which is an evidence-based successful model that's been used across the country. We here in the Camden City School District will have the first STAR Academy. We are branding it our Innovator Academy at Morgan Village Middle School. The purpose of this academy, and again, without the partnership with Assemblyman Spearman and his recommendation of the district, we might not even be in this position. So again, we will acknowledge Assemblyman Spearman in a greater way as we move forward. But we are excited to be partnering with NOLA Education to bring their STAR Academy program to the district. NOLA Education, again, received a commitment of funding from the state of New Jersey, meaning this program would be an additional resource for our district at no additional cost. The STAR Academy program is designed to support at-risk middle school students by providing and engaging projects-based learning models. This program has the capacity to serve up to 80 students through a school within a school model. Although we are starting the 2023-24 school year with a pilot program of 20 seventh grade students, for potential expansion in subsequent years, that is possible. So we're starting small with 20 and we're going to continue to grow. And so we are confident that this program will help to meet the needs of our middle school students who are overaged and have become disengaged from school. We have had our team members, I want to shout out Mr. Brian Gregg and Mr. Ray Perry, who went door to door. Once we got the list of students, we know exactly which students in our district are in this category of being overage and undercredited for where they are in their middle school journey. They went, knocked on doors, explained it to parents, and within a few days, we have all of the seats full. So again, teamwork makes the dream work, and that's not a cliche for me, but our parents, they jumped at the opportunity. They were very grateful. So we know that this is something, a niche that the district can continue to grow and expand to attract our young people who need that support and get them back on track so they can graduate on time with their peers. I want to take a moment just to share from a student's voice perspective what STAR Academy is all about. So the next slide is just a quick, brief video clip to give you a little bit more information on STAR Academy.
NOLA Education with STAR is on the cusp of personalizing education.
I had teachers come at me and yell at me because I didn't get the right answer.
He felt like he had to explain to those students, oh, I'm supposed to be in this grade, I'm supposed to be in that grade, I'm not in my right grade.
Before I come to this school, I was kind of getting messed with because children was like, oh, you're not in your right grade, you're not with your brother. But now I'm here and I know we're all going through the same thing. We just want to get in our right grade.
I dropped out so I could take care of my 3 little sisters. So I grew up a bit too fast and missed childhood.
All of those that come in, I want them to get a feeling that we're here working as hard as we can to make a successful program and make sure the students are on the right track to be successful and eventually graduate.
It is different. It is exciting, and the kids get excited because they are learning.
It is a phenomenal tool for dropout prevention. STAR Academy is student-centered.
It allows students to do 2 years in 1 year. It also meets the students exactly where they are, and it gives you an idea as a teacher exactly what you need to focus on to make sure that you help that student succeed in your class.
Star Academy just has to remain with our system so that we can address the needs of all students, regardless of where they are, their backgrounds, or the challenges they've had in the past.
Our classrooms are small, and students can get and have gotten individual attention. And I think that makes all the difference in the world.
Not only are the students engaging on laptop, but they're also engaged in other group activities with students.
I'm more of a hands-on learner, and I can't really stare at a computer screen for too long. And it's really helping me figure out what I'm trying to do.
They always have something to do. They have an experiment with each rotation. That way they get the experience they need.
Star Academy is absolutely amazing with the work that it does for the students.
We don't know what environment the students have come from or what they're dealing with a lot of times, but I do know that everyone deserves the opportunity to have a fair shot. And in this program, we give it to them.
I want to be something. I want somebody to remember me as something in their life. Not bad. I want it to be great.
Thank you. And in addition,
NOLA Education
Thank
with
you.
STAR is on.
Thank you. In addition to, I know I called out two staff members who were instrumental in helping to bridge the gap with families, but this was a whole team effort. So I just want to make sure I share that Principal Robinson and her staff from Morgan Village have been absolutely amazing. We didn't have much of a runway. We found out about maybe a month and a half ago, if that this opportunity was real. And so we had to quickly galvanize all of the teams, Dr. Walker, Christy, all of the teams, Ms. Reese, with DTLR, facilities, Ray, Sam, everyone coming together. It was truly a team effort to make sure that this is in position. So I just want to make sure I underscore that it was a total team effort here. So the next slide, teaching and learning. I want to begin by sharing the New Jersey Graduation Proficiency Assessment results. So this was the field test that was started last year in 2022, the spring of 2022, and the second administration was in spring of 2023. And so I want to take this opportunity. We have to publicly share by code the results at a board meeting in a public way. So we are going to do that at this time. So on the next slide, just some quick overviews on what this assessment is all about, just as a reminder. Statute requires the state graduation proficiency assessment to be administered to all grade 11 students. The New Jersey GEPA is designed to measure the extent to which students are graduation ready in English language arts and mathematics. Graduation readiness is reported separately for each content component. The ELA component is aligned to the grade 10 standards. The mathematics component is aligned to Algebra 1 and geometry. On May 3rd, the New Jersey State Board of Education adopted the proficiency level cut score for the English language arts and math components of the NJ GEPA, as well as the menu of alternative assessments and aligned cut scores. Students who take this test but do not meet the minimum required score on each component of the assessment will have the opportunity to receive additional supports and may take the following steps. They can retake the ELA and or math components of the New Jersey GEPA in the following summer or fall. They can meet a designated cut score from the menu of substitute competency tests or complete a portfolio appeal. So here is, on the next slide, what you'll see is a comparison of the district's spring 2023 administration percentages when we look at the first field test administration in 2022, last spring's administration in 2023, and then the statewide averages. And so this slide again compares the percentage of district graduation ready students with the state average. Additionally, this slide includes a percentage of students graduation ready in 2022. And as you can see, the percentage of students deemed graduation ready in ELA increased in our district by 38 points. And the students deemed graduation ready in math. Now let me step back for a second. When we take a look at these scores, we know that we have not arrived, but we must acknowledge the growth, and we must make sure that we continue to double and triple that growth. So when we take a look, again, I want to underscore, last year when I reported to you, only 4.2% of all 11th grade students who took the test were graduation ready in ELA. This last assessment, 42.2% of students, so that's an increase of 38 percentage points. When we compare that to the graduation ready state numbers, we see 80.5% of students across the state were graduation ready, of 11th grade students were graduation ready in ELA, and also in the district, again, as I shared with you before, the growth was 38%. So again, this gives you a visual, and this will be posted on our website very transparently of where we are. Now in math, we know that across the nation, and this is no excuse, but it's just providing context, that math scores have taken a hit. So if we look statewide, 55% of students across the state of New Jersey were graduation ready in math. In our district this year, only 8.8% were graduation ready in math for 11th graders, and that is an increase, a very modest increase of 3.8%. So we did not go backwards, but we still have to continue to move forward, and this is for the 11th grade students. If we take a look at the next slide, this slide overviews the number of our 11th grade students who completed the assessment in each high school, as well as compares the average scale score in those schools to the district average scaled score. And again, you see that for each of our 5 high schools, how they compare to their peers across the district. On the next slide, it provides the same information for math with the school level scores and participation rates and comparisons to their peers across the district. And on the next slide, we can see how each of our subgroups perform. So we see how our students who are ELL students, our special needs students, scored as compared with the state and district average in ELA. So what this data tells us is that we know we still have more work to do, and we know that what we have to do, and I'll talk about it on the next slides, are to be intentional, double down on our efforts. Whatever got us the 38 percentage point jump in ELA, we need to keep pushing and keep learning and making sure that we continue to move forward. And I believe our leaders are ready this year. I believe our teachers are being given all the resources that are necessary, and we are looking forward to supporting them. The same on the next slide, the subgroup level comparisons for mathematics are listed as well. So again, I want to highlight the notable achievements, and a reminder, this will be posted on our website. Creative Arts High School and Brim Medical Arts High School had over 70% of their students perform as graduation ready status in ELA. ELA grew 38 percentage points from the previous school year, and math grew 3.8 percentage points from the previous school year. Those are the high level pieces. And so what are we going to do to ensure that we continue to move in the right direction in ELA, and we dramatically improve our efforts in mathematics, our students' outcomes? And so this slide bullets out what intervention strategies are in place for all students. So we will utilize the NJ-GEPA evidence statements for pacing, curriculum developments, and district unit assessments. We will hold monthly professional development for teachers centered on differentiation through inspired instruction, SLEX, and ELA and Social Studies liaisons. We will hold bi-monthly job-embedded professional development delivered by our math vendor. This is in addition to the professional development days that are already on the school calendar. And we will also have expanded enrollment in the after-school program throughout the district with a focus on ELA, math, and science testing strategies and supports to be used in the NJ-GEPA assessment. Those are the areas that we are doubling down on to ensure that we continue to push our students and our teachers as we all are moving toward higher achievement. Specifically with regard to math intervention strategies, they are listed on the next slide. And so for math interventions for teachers and students, there will be a focus, as I shared already, on differentiation, professional development, and this slide just outlines in a little bit more detail what I just shared on the previous slide. When it comes to English on the next slide, the interventions for students and teachers, utilizing small group instruction in the classroom to emphasize differentiation, to make sure we're getting right to the level where our students are and able to expand. Resources for additional individualized supports in ELA classes, Zinc for reading and Quill for writing, job-embedded coaching for teachers on differentiation and engagement, data-driven professional development, professional learning communities, sessions will also be held so our teachers can develop those professional learning communities and be able to build up their craft as well. Writing initiatives driven by the New Jersey GEPA writing data are key components. That's not all we're going to do, but those are the intentional key components that we are going to implement as we improve our 11th grade student outcomes on the NJ GEPA assessment. In line with what I just talked about when it comes to math and math achievement across the nation and the state dipping down, we also wanted to display some of the work that our teachers did this summer in our 2023 Summer Math Institute. So in July, 35 kindergarten through second grade general ed, special ed, and bilingual teachers participated in the 2023 CCSD Summer Math Institute, which was led by Dr. Eric Milou of Rowan University. These teachers participated in 4 days of math professional development with the intent of increasing their content knowledge and enhancing their teaching to motivate students. The sessions help teachers build their capacity around number sense, learn research-based problem-solving techniques and strategies, and enhance their use of cutting-edge technology to address rich media content. All participants were enthusiastic to learn instructional techniques, strategies, and resources to use to engage our youngest learners in math. And if you take a look there, I won't read it for you, but you can see the quotes, and these quotes were shared by our teachers, which gives us feedback as to how effective the professional learning experience was. Next slide. So what's new in the district? So as we also continue to think about at earlier grades, how are we building our young people up to be more successful in reading and to be more successful in ELA all the way around? We had the opportunity to work with Scholastic, and we are venturing in a partnership with Scholastic. Not only did they support us in our enrollment effort that we had a couple of weeks ago, but they are also going to be working with us as we engage families on what it is that needs to happen in the home as well to support the learning of reading and to build strong readers. Additionally, by partnering with Scholastic, we are able to introduce to every K through 5th grade classroom in the district their Rising Voices Library, which celebrates Black and Latino students in grades K to 5. So they're able to see themselves in the literature, in the material that they are reading and learning about to build their interest in reading. We are also going to be providing at-home, building our students at-home libraries, by providing each of our K through 5 students with books that they will be able to use to build their at-home libraries, but also to help to engage so that the family is working together in partnership with the district in order to build strong readers. So you will see more events, more opportunities, more family-centered, family-focused opportunities. We're going to bring in more mentors from throughout the community so that we're all coming together to make sure our young people are strong readers, but to make sure that they can read and that they are doing that at very early ages. So we're grateful for the partnership with Scholastic, and you will hear more about those outcomes as we move through the year. And very quickly, intervention is not just academic intervention, but intervention has also to do with social-emotional supports. So what is MTSS? So multi-tiered system of supports is what is utilized to make sure that all students at various levels and various needs are getting exactly what they need academically as well as social-emotionally. So it's a very holistic view. There is an introduction for families. I will skip over to the next slide, the slide that has the QR code on it. And any family member, any parent, anyone who wants to learn more about what MTSS is, there is an MTSS family guide that has been put together, and we are thankful to Ms. Henson and her team for the work that's been done there, along with Dr. Berkeley, to make sure that this information is getting out to our families. There will be more training about it, but we want our families to know what we're doing to support children and how we can work together to do so in a more effective way. So again, you'll be able to find answers to your questions just by scanning that QR code. Next slide. Just want to highlight that we had a wonderful 6 days of professional development for our school leaders. It was an awesome Administrators Academy. Hats off to Dr. Walker, our Assistant Superintendent, and also Christy Weitzel, our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction, for just a wonderful professional development that was offered to our leaders. I had the chance to be engaged with them every day, and it was an awesome opportunity. On the next slide, you'll see some of the topics. On the next slide, you'll see some of the sessions that were offered during this time. School leaders had the opportunity to focus in on equity means meeting me where I am, knowing how to meet our learners and build school communities that are meeting our young people exactly where they are, encouraging them to be reflective practitioners. Now that you know me, teach me. Looking at data, how to analyze data, and how to take that back to schools. So we're closing those achievement gaps, and they have an expectation of what's expected. Wednesday, we delved into It All Begins with a Plan. During these sessions, we discussed good teaching practices and expectations and how to walk into each lesson prepared. We talked about co-teaching models, special education class for special education and gen ed classrooms. And then on Thursday, we focused on It Takes a Village, and we had partners to come in from Scholastic, CamCare, Center for Family Services, Wholesome Riches, the Camden Education Fund, so that we make sure that we avail our school leaders, that they know how to avail themselves of the rich partners who are in our city. And then on Monday, just yesterday, we focused in on and concluded with How Am I Doing? And Dr. Nicholas Pillsbury from our team was able to focus in on the evaluation process and the consistency that we're looking for in those areas. So it was just an absolutely wonderful, wonderfully engaging professional learning time for our leaders and for us to be able to work with them to really identify what their needs are so we can support them to be their best. Next slide. So not only is it important for our school leaders to be aware of our expectations, but we also want to make sure that our parents are invited and engaged in learning. I've said that over and over throughout this time together, and I have to keep saying it. But this listing shows all of our family and community community engagement teams, parent advisory councils. So our district parent advisory council, including the bilingual and special ed councils, are geared up to meet monthly, and the dates are listed by school so that you can attend to consult with the district and facilitate coordination and cooperation of parents, staff, and community on matters related to the Title I program. These are critically important, and I want to call out that elections, that we are looking for leaders. Election ballots will open on September 21st, 2023, and we want to make sure parents have voice as to who their leaders will be in our district parent advisory council. This information will be posted on the website on the Title I page under the Families tab. So if you want more information, please go there. School nutrition, what's growing in Camden? A healthy community. The Camden School Nutrition Team partnered with the Common Market and Full Futures with produce and watermelon distributions during the summer months. Our SWAG students working to access greatness, worked in our school gardens and harvested fresh, locally grown veggies. We want to thank our partners and our SWAG students for planting the seeds, sowing the land, and sustaining our future. We're getting ready for the fall, serving up breakfast after the bell, lunch, dinner, snack, brunch, and weekend kids packs. Check out our school nutrition table or visit us online for more information on how you can support, volunteer, or partner. Just a few more quick updates. We want to make sure that the board still remains aware of where we are with regard to our teacher vacancy snapshot and other hiring updates. So just a few key points. Our Division of Talent and Labor Relations have been working nonstop to fill every single vacancy. But we know that we're dealing with a national teacher shortage, but that has not stopped them from giving their 100%. So teacher separations are outpacing hiring, and our vacancy rate is now 16%. There are 110 current teacher vacancies, with another 8 anticipated due to last-minute resignations. Teacher recruitment has been very strong. 54 teachers are currently in the onboarding process. 44 teachers are cleared to start in their new teaching positions. I want to just also make sure that we underscore that we continue to recruit, but hiring is slowing down as fewer teachers are available to hire in August. Our recruitment campaign for paraprofessionals has been very, very successful. As we continue to add paraprofessional allocations, we continue to hire. We anticipate, finally, and this is a positive note, starting the school year off with all of our custodian and security officer positions filled. I believe we may only have like one new allocation for security that needs to be filled, but we have a sub-pool as well. So they are available and on standby and ready just in case an officer is out. So very pleased with the resilience of our DTLR department, and we are continuing to move forward as we partner with agencies as well and higher ed institutions to figure out how to get more teachers or more individuals who are interested in even becoming teachers. And finally, district highlights. These are some images of our back-to-school enrollment fair. Picture is worth 1,000 words. A picture is worth 1,000 words. Multiple pictures are worth even more. So you can take a look at the faces. We were able to give away backpacks. We partnered with Scholastic. Again, Clifford the Big Red Dog was there. We had fun. It was just a wonderful time. It was very well attended. And we know and got feedback firsthand that our families were appreciative of this opportunity. Next slide. We can't thank our SWAG students enough, students working to access greatness. Thank you to our amazing 2023 summer CCSD SWAG students. A total of 65 Camden City School District SWAG workers helped us this summer, and they were paid as well. So they were wonderful, outstanding. They worked in various departments and buildings such as the warehouse, and there's a possible hiring of one of our students to work in the warehouse who's graduating. food services, technology, school-based youth services, central office, various schools. Our students were assigned to different school buildings, and we are looking forward to piloting an after-school employment program this year where some of those same swag workers will be able to work after school, but they have to come to school every day, and they're going to have to make sure that certain criteria and parameters are in place. But this is a positive, healthy outlet for our young people who just want to work. And they've told us over and over, I want to be able to work. Let's give them safe ways, safe spaces in order to do so. And that's what we are also piloting. Next slide. Summer Enrichment Program. These are some images from our Summer Enrichment Program. It was absolutely wonderful. There was a great end of the summer showcase. Students visited Washington, D.C., explored the National Mall, Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History, the Washington Monument, and National Museum of African American History and Culture. The Summer Visual Performing Arts students toured the Wheaton Arts Glass Museum. They watched a glass blowing and pottery demonstration, and they participated in a tile making workshop. Students visited the Academy of Natural Sciences of Drexel University in Philadelphia, and students also visited Storybook Land. And you see they had a wonderful time, but they also learned rigorous lessons throughout the day. So not only did they were they able to participate in engaging trips that expanded their horizons, but they also were able to build their English language arts as well as their mathematics skills. So hats off again to the curriculum team. I know that John Adams and also Tanya Wilson, along with so many others on the team, I'll get in trouble for naming names, but they work together as a team to make this happen, and we're appreciative. And we look forward to doing bigger and better and greater through our after-school programs as well as our next year summer programs. This next slide just shows some images of our Administrator Academy that I spoke about already. And then if you take a look at the next slide, today we had the first day of our new teacher orientation. It is a 3-day training for new teachers, and it was wonderful to be able to connect with them. We were right here in the auxiliary gym. I had a chance to meet with them, to provide a keynote for them, as well as our team worked with them throughout the rest of the day, and we'll be working for the next 2 days to make sure they're well oriented and ready to go on day one. It was a huge success, and thank you to everyone who played a role and a part in that success. And want to end with this last highlight, credit recovery. So we talk a lot about students who are over age and under credit, and there were many young people this summer who took advantage of our credit recovery summer program. And so the maximum number of credits students are able to earn in a summer is 20 credits for 6th through 12th grade students. 270 middle school and high school students attended our credit recovery program, and 211 of that 270 were promoted after attending summer school. So again, that speaks to, that is, our young people, they did that. They came every day, and that speaks to their desire. They want to catch up. Our young people don't want to be behind. They just can't express to us how they feel when they're disengaged, so they show us in many different ways. But 211 out of 270 students were successful and got back on track and were able to be promoted after attending summer school. So if we can do it for the summer, we can do it in many other ways. And so, again, we're so proud of them. And one young person said, "I want to make myself proud," said Martinez, an aspiring healthcare worker. "I want to graduate." That's what our young people want, and we're going to help them every step of the way. Next slide, save the date. Actually, next slide. Yes, save the date. I'm not going to read through these dates, but they will be posted. We want to make sure that we highlight, however, we know September 6th is the first day of school. We also want to make sure we stress Hispanic Heritage Month begins September 15th and runs through October 15th. We're looking forward to celebrating our rich culture. And then we also want to make sure we don't forget to add that September 18th through the 22nd is School Safety Officer Week. Let's give a round of applause to our security officers who are here because we want you to know you will be celebrated, and we thank you for what you do. And again, you can take a look here and compare it to your calendar, but we know that this year, on September 25th, there will be no school due to Yom Kippur, so that is a bit of a difference than what we've had in the last few years. So again, these are some very important dates for us to all keep in mind. And we will now transition back to the stage where the board president or his designee will acknowledge our retirees. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent. We're going to turn it to Board Member Naima Gillespie.
Good evening, everyone. We would like to acknowledge the following individuals for their commitment and dedication to our district. Ms. Geneva Boone, paraprofessional, for her 32 years and 8 months of service. Ms. Jane Ebeniche, special education teacher, for her 28 years and 1 month of service. Ms. Denise Mastro Simone, nurse, for her 14 years and 6 months of service. And Ms. Carmen Rivera, paraprofessional, for her 25 years and 6 months of service. We want to wish you all a very happy retirement.
Thank you very much. Are there any conversation about the superintendent's report?
I actually have a few things, but I want to first say, Madam Superintendent, to you and your team, thank you so much for your tireless work. It doesn't go unnoticed. All the things that are new that we have put in place, I'm super excited about the accelerated program. Our students are definitely wanting to catch up, and now that we're offering an opportunity, I'm more than excited. I had a question about our Parent Advisory Council. So I see that we have dates set for individual schools. However, the district-wide date is like right there. I'm wondering if we can give parents time to build in their individual schools first before we introduce them to the district-wide council. I just know it's important for parent involvement, wanting to get the schools to get their parents revved up and excited to be involved. So we could just check that date out and see if we could push it back.
Thank you. Vice President Nelson.
Thank you. So I echo Board Member Gillespie, and we spoke about student learning loss and the different things that were in place, and definitely appreciative to see that, we have some things to assist with that. We know that is nationwide, some of these challenges, and, we've spoken just wanting to make sure that we do everything that we can to, help improve with the student learning loss, math, and, our English as well, is at 8.8%, and is not a good place to be. And we understand that as a district, we're doing everything that we can, and we just really want to make sure that we're doing what's best for our students, and collectively, working together to make sure that we're maximizing. So we appreciate everything that's being done and want to continue to do more. You also, we've seen some real nice pictures and a lot of work that operations has done. When we think our students deserve the best. So it's good to see some of these repairs and improvements to our buildings because we want to make sure across the board, regardless of what school you're in, it feels the same. So we want to continue to see, the upgrades and the improvements to our district schools. So we appreciate that and just want to continue to work towards, improving those things. So thank you.
Anyone else? Yes, sir. Board member.
Just on the report, thank you very much, Superintendent. I second everything our VP just mentioned. I don't want this to seem as a, pushing down, but it's more of a building part is, we really need to continue to try everything possible to get our kids up to speed and get our children to where they need to be. I do want to kind of talk about a positive, being the fact that we did add African American studies and Latinx studies that does way much more than just a school district. It's teachings that our kids and our community need to hear so we can work together and make this city better every day. I also appreciate the fact the drop back in. I appreciate that we're being innovative and trying to get everybody possible to come back and do what they need to do. So I appreciate the fact that we are being innovative in different ways, but I think that we have to continue to use that innovation in the spots that we need it the most.
Thank you, Board Member Martinez. Anyone else? So I want to horsey back on everything that was said, Madam Superintendent, and those listening in the district, as well as our parents and community. Those scores are troublesome, and I can't be who I am and not highlight and point that out with being, I would say, settle with that, because I think all of us in here want better for our young people, deserve better, and we are the educators and those involved in the process of our young people education. So this is not a attack on anyone. That's not my style. That's not what I do. I just try to inspire of what I do as brother minister. But community, from parent engagement to our teachers in our community, this is like we should be in a, I wouldn't say crisis mode, but we should really, 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 as the new school year is approaching, we should really, really want to double down and go above and beyond the call of duty to get our young children to be able to read and do math. Because if they're not reading and they're not doing math in our community, then our community is vulnerable. And I know that crime reports in the city of Camden is going in the best direction, but those of us who walk to the local bodegas, those of us who are in the community, like many of the board members that we find in here, and many of the educators that are here in the community, it would take us back a few years if our young people who's coming up, if they're not able to maintain a job or create a job for themselves or be able to read or write, our community is going to be in trouble. And that's why I have to inspire. If I have the microphone as the chair, voted in by my colleagues, and as a elected board member, then I would be mundane in my duty if I don't make a point of reference to the community call, because it's not blaming one institution. We can start with the institution of family. Young people, young parents, older parents, aunties, uncles, read to our children. Start early in an early age. Let's read to them. And I don't want to be on a soapbox. I'm not going to go anymore. I mean, I don't want to drag this out, but I just want to put us in a sense of urgency that even when you're pregnant, read to them. If you are a parent or the father, the mother, read to the person. Read. That will help them while they're in the womb. And just work with them. Have them young people put that technology down and pick up some books and work with them, because if our educators can't do it alone, if they're not getting the help from the parents at home, and we know, and we live in communities where many of our parents are challenged as well, and that's why I appreciate the district talking about the Parent Advisory Committee and echoing the late and great Miss Martha Wilson, who always talked about, the previous president, that talked about parental engagement and trying to get parents engaged in the process. Because if we want our young people and our children and our grandchildren, our nephews and nieces to succeed, they have to learn how to read and write. And you know, we're making strides in the right direction, but Brother Minister is not here to point the fingers, because when you point them, three of them is pointing back at you, because I'm an educator, former educator. I am a executive director. I am a board chair, a board member. If we all don't collectively come together and make, drastic moves, like put it in, like if I just did this percentage on 6,000, and I know we might be a little more. So that's a state of an emergency in our community that we have to work with our young children. Let's get inspired. Please, let's get inspired. This is a call, and I know I speak the same language here for the rest of our board members, because these are conversations that we have, this board, in private. We just don't sit here and, just to be here, to be seen every month, and to hear with the microphone. We work. This board works. And Madam Superintendent, her and her staff, they work. We watch them work. But we have to just get a little bit more inspired in our community to do more. And please forgive me for being on my soapbox. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Board President, board members, taking copious notes, and we are inspired, and we're moving together because our children deserve it. So we are looking forward to working together and pushing one another so that we can get the best out of us to give to our young people. So I thank you, Board President, and the rest of the board for your feedback, and we are moving in that direction. At this time, I will turn it over to our General Counsel for a public comments portion.
Thank you, Superintendent. The Camden City School District welcomes the attendance and comments from all members of the public at its meetings. This public comment period is your time to present your comments to the board and the superintendent. Each person who signed up to comment will have 3 minutes. You will be notified when your 3 minutes are up, and you cannot yield your time to another person. When it is your turn to speak, please come to the podium and address all of your comments to the superintendent or the general counsel. Please be courteous to your fellow community members and keep your comments within the time frame allotted so that everyone has the opportunity to speak. At the end of the 3 minutes, the microphone will be cut off and we will end your comment time. We also request that you please conduct yourself in a respectful manner. The First Amendment is not absolute, and the board can prohibit language that is inappropriate. For anyone whose comments or actions harass, intimidate, or threaten the safety of any person, we will provide you with a warning or immediately end your comment time. We will not interrupt you during your 3 minutes of comments unless we deem it necessary. If a member of the public speaks about a staff member, interruption may be necessary to caution the speaker of the dangers of slander. After the public comment period is closed, the superintendent or her designee will address your questions to the extent provided by law. I will begin by calling the names of individuals wishing to provide in-person comments before reading the written comments. And as a quick reminder, all written public comments read aloud during the board meeting are the views of the person submitting written public comment and are not the views of the superintendent, the advisory board, or the Camden City School District. Thank you. And the first individual we have signed up for public comment is Jamil Miller.
Hello, how you doing, everybody? Just want to say I appreciate your passion and your dedication to making sure, the students are educated and they are getting that push to be successful. I'm a product of the Camden City School District as well, and I feel like I've been successful in my journey thus far. But even to say that, I feel as though some of the things that are being done aren't to the full potential, such as hindering the students from a great teacher, Karen Borelli, as I know her. I'm not sure what's going on with the situation, but she still isn't back at the school, and I feel as though she's a vital resource, and this situation should have been handled 2 months ago when I first came to speak, and I told my passion and my struggles of how I was homeless and how she was able to push me to be successful and get to where I am today. So I'm not sure what's going on with the situation, but I really feel like it's a vital thing that needs to be handled immediately. So please look at the situation and understand that it doesn't start with the board members. It doesn't also just start with the parents. It starts with the teachers that are dedicated and have had 40 years of experience teaching students and inspiring people to be great. So just keep that in mind and really think back at this situation and understand that I'm here and other people here and they hear this call and they want her back. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Next individual signed up is Kevin Ruiz Barrios.
Good evening, everybody. So before I get into this, I just want to ask, and this is just pure curiosity, did less than 10% of the students that took that test pass the algebra and the geometry that math portion was based off of? Because that's a really low number, and we really got to microscope what they're getting and how, if there is a big difference between the amount of students that pass those subjects and the less than 10% that pass that portion of the test, where's the variance at? But what I'm here for tonight. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Kevin Ruiz Baroa, and I stand before you as a voice of the Brim Medical Arts High School community. Today, I wish to express the profound impact Ms. Borelli Luke, our health and physical education teacher, and my mentor. Ms. Borelli's dedication and passion have left an undeniable mark on all of us. As a mentor, she has not only imparted knowledge, but has been a guiding force in shaping our aspirations and character. Her impending return to Brim by September 1st was eagerly anticipated, yet her absence from this month's minute has raised concerns. We are not merely requesting the return of a teacher, we are advocating for the restoration of an essential pillar of our school. The void left by Ms. Borelli Luke's absence is palpable, and her influence extends beyond the classroom into every corner of our educational journey. And by our, I mean the students. Picture the dynamic atmosphere, the enthusiasm, and the sense of purpose that accompanies Ms. Borelli's presence. Her role as a health and physical education teacher embodies a holistic approach to education, one that nurtures both the body and the mind, creating well-rounded individuals. In these 3 minutes, I implore you to recognize the significance of Ms. Borelli's return. Her presence elevates our school spirit and contributes immeasurably to our growth. Bringing back Ms. Borelli isn't just about filling a position, it's about upholding the essence of Brim Medical Arts High School. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Ruiz Baroa. Next person signed up for a comment is Principal Montague.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Danielle Montague. I am the proud and grateful principal of Dr. Henry H. Davis Family School, and I am here to say thank you to Superintendent McCombs and all of the CCSD family that I have for getting my building ready for first day of school. I want to shout out especially Senior Director Bethay for talking me off the ledge a couple times. I wasn't too sure, it wasn't looking good. I was swinging on the side of the Betsy Ross, but I am back. My building is looking beautiful, and I thank everyone in this room who had anything to possibly do with advocating for my building to be ready. We are looking forward to an outstanding and great year. If there's anything I can do to help in any capacity, please let me know. But again, I want to thank my CCSD family, because that is what we are, family. And that's what matters for each and every one of us. So I just want to publicly thank everyone, especially the facilities department. Yay, facilities.
Thank you, Principal Montague. And the last person signed up for public comment is Ms. Vida Neal.
Good evening, Superintendent, board members. I'm usually you guys' biggest critic when I come in here. And tonight, I seen something that I've been waiting a long time to see. I am a product of the Camden High School, which was ran by Roletta Cream. And I had a teacher named Mr. Prophet that taught me Afro-American studies and who I am. And who I am. Because once you know who you are, you know where you're going. I think our kids don't need to be told lies anymore about Christopher Columbus discovering America, putting icons of people that don't look like us, when people that look like us done what other people are claiming they did. I think it's important that our children, black and brown, learn who they are and where they came from so that they know where they're going. And with the internet today, all kinds of stuff is coming about what we've done to the contributions of Afro-Americans. I'm not even going to say Afro-Americans, because we was here already. If you know the truth about who you are, you know that we were here already. That's why they won't let us in the Grand Canyon, because African kings or queens are nested in the Grand Canyon. But I also want to talk about the Brim Medical Arts and the situation there. Now, being a product of Camden and also my family working within this public school district for over 40 years. My mother worked at Camden High. My uncle was a coach at Camden High. My cousin Lenore was the head secretary for Camden High for years. And I knew what Dr. Brim's dream was. Dr. Brim's dream was for our children to be doctors and nurses. It had nothing to do with a pet cemetery that's been going on over there for God knows how long. My aunt Novella Henson created a program with the pharmaceutical. Am I correct? Was that Novella's program? And to have parents call me and tell me we only had 8 participants. Am I correct? Because parents were calling me, telling me that they were told by an educator that they should not go or be a part of that program. And if you don't, you'll take another job. But what you don't get to do is tell our children that they shouldn't participate. It takes around $10,000 to $12,000 to be a pharmaceutical tech, or either working for Rite Aid or CVS for 2.5 years for minimum pay. We need more programs. Utilize Brim Medical Arts. We got 3 hospitals here. We need more CTE programs in the medical field, and now's the time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Neal. There are several written comments this evening that I will read before turning it back over for comment.
Thank you, baby.
First written comment is from Carla Villegas. Hello, board members. My name is Carla Villegas. I am Ward 3 East Camden's Community Outreach Organizing Manager. I want to begin by saying it has been a challenging summer for some families. Over the summer, I have been working with many families with many concerns due to some district schools not having the appropriate curriculum for their students or eliminating specific resources like speech therapy. Some families weren't even aware of these changes until receiving a letter on August 16th, 2023. Now students will be missing school time due to having to look for a new school that has all the right resources they need. The school year begins on September 7th, 2023, and these issues could have been resolved before the school year ended last year. What is going to happen with the parents that didn't receive the letter regarding removing those services? Will the school contact every parent that their child had those services before September 7th, 2023? How is the district planning on working with the families that received the services and now don't have access? How can the district be more communicative with families using these services? What does this process look like moving forward? How can I work with the board to follow up and check in with the families? Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Villegas. Next comment is from Roxana Diaz. Dear Superintendent and school board members, as an art teacher and mental health activist, I'm deeply committed to nurturing young minds. I can personally attest to the transformative power of including art education in our schools. Witnessing firsthand the positive impact it has had on my own life and the lives of my students, I'm convinced that art is not just an extracurricular activity, but an essential tool for fostering mental well-being, personal growth, and academic success. Our students often face challenges that extend beyond the classroom. Art becomes a sanctuary where they can channel their emotions, anxieties, and dreams into vibrant expressions. I myself faced many challenges as a child due to my language barrier, traumas, and anxiety that art helped me overcome. Through art, students learn to communicate and connect with themselves and others in profound ways, cultivating emotional intelligence and resilience. I have witnessed struggling students gradually gaining confidence and a sense of belonging. Art has allowed me to connect with my students on a deeper level, offering a platform where they feel safe to share their thoughts and experiences. Art has also an immense abundance of academic benefits for students. Art fosters critical thinking, problem solving, cognitive skills, and innovation. Through the exploration of various mediums and techniques, students learn to analyze and interpret visual information, enhancing their observational skills and attention to detail. Art education also nurtures effective communication, as students must articulate their creative concepts and thought processes. These skills not only contribute to a more comprehensive education, but also lay the foundation for success in various academic disciplines, equipping students with a versatile skill set that extends far beyond the art classroom. Art has equipped me with the tools to recognize signs of emotional distress and offer creative avenues for them to cope and heal. Through art projects, I have observed remarkable transformations, from introverted students finding their voice to anxious minds finding moments of serenity. The process of creation itself is therapeutic, instilling a sense of accomplishment that transcends grades and exams. These experiences have reinforced my belief in the importance of incorporating art into education, especially in urban settings where the challenges are uniquely complex. As an art teacher, I am driven by the belief that art can be a great tool for positive change, offering a way for our students to navigate their emotions, develop crucial life skills, and discover their unique identities. It's my sincere hope that we can continue to prioritize art in our schools, empowering our students to not only succeed academically, but also flourish emotionally and mentally. Thank you, Ms. Diaz. Next comment is from Gabby Gonzalez. Good evening, Superintendent and school board members. My name is Gabby Gonzalez. I am the Community Outreach Organizer for Ward 1 with Parents Invincible. I wanted to stress the mental health bullying that is on the rise that we are seeing in our schools. As an advocate that deals with parents and students on a daily basis, one of our community and parents' main concerns has been their children being bullied at their schools. I saw this firsthand when I completed our organization's quarterly survey. As a parent advocate myself, one main thing that I want to see this upcoming year is to bring this up to your attention. I would like to work together with you all to make sure that our children not only get the best of high-quality education, but also get educated and understand how bullying and mental health plays a role in a child's learning. How can the district work with schools and/or organizations to address this issue? Do you have any plans this upcoming school year to address the increasing numbers of bullying in our schools? Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. And the final written comment this evening is from Josie Ocasio. Good evening to all in attendance here tonight. I'm glad to be back and looking forward to this new school year. I want to share some concerns that have been shared with me from a few parents with students with IEPs. Over summer break, parents were not aware that their students were being removed out of veteran school and entering Yorkship. Letters were mailed out to parents with these new implements due to the school not having the services that their child will need. It's one of many important services needed everywhere, and our children should not have to be removed from their schools if they were already getting the service a few months ago. Resources should be available in all schools just in case a child needs it. I'm happy that they did find a school for these students and hope that all works out for them, but we need our schools to have more better resources so families are not worrying what's going to happen next. Will their child be okay? Will they get bullied in a new school? Will staff help them and learn to be patient? Where was the communication at the end of the school year to the parents that changes will be made and to give them an opportunity to advocate for their child? And why the sudden changes were made without a meeting with the parents? Why does a child need to be removed from a school he loves and learning and feel comfortable to another school he's not familiar with, different settings and farther from their homes? Why don't we have these resources at all district schools? These are questions that a few parents have, and they need answers to why communication wasn't made before school ended. Thank you. Have a blessed night. Thank you, Ms. Ocasio. Superintendent, that is the last public comment this evening. I'll turn it back to you for comment.
Thank you so much. And thank you, as always, to everyone who participates through our public comment portion, whether it's written or in person. It helps us to be able to look at what we're doing and to make sure we get the right voices, or to get voices and perspectives, so that we can ensure that everyone's voices are heard and that we move forward with solutions accordingly. So there were a few key areas that were brought up through the written comments and also through the public comments that were made on this evening. So I'll go first by starting off with talking about bullying. So there was a concern about bullying raised by the representative from Parents Invincible. Thank you for sharing and providing the feedback on your organization's survey. That is critical information, and I mean that honestly, because we want to know how our parents are feeling and what they're experiencing and what their young people are experiencing. So that survey information from a community perspective is extremely helpful, and it is also valuable. So this year, one of our district's focal areas is on building relationships. Engagement, equity, and excellence. Engagement begins with strong relationships. In keeping with this, we will continue to have a strong stance, a very strong stance against bullying. We will host anti-bullying assemblies, and we are committed to addressing bullying through the use of our professional school counselors. In addition, each school leader also has social emotional programs that address building positive relationships with staff and students. These programs teach positive student behavior and engagement that will make a positive impact on the overall learning community. Additionally, classroom lessons and activities will also be provided. We have also been and will continue to collaborate with external partners, including but not limited to the Restorative and Transformative Justice Hub, the Center for Family Services, and other groups. We want to have the opportunity, and we welcome the opportunity to meet with you as well. Dr. Berkeley, our Deputy Assistant Superintendent of Supports, will contact you soon, and she is our district's anti-bullying coordinator. Her information is found right on the front page of our district website. So again, this is just a response, but we'd love to engage in a dialogue to be able to ensure that we're continuously improving our efforts in this area. With regard to special services, there were two comments that were related to concerns held by parents regarding special services. So upon just a quick investigation while we were here and the comments were coming forth and quick review, I've confirmed that services were not removed from any schools. However, I do want to advise the public that not all programs are offered at every school. So there are instances where student placements can change based on the appropriate program to meet a student's specific need as prescribed in their IEP. We're not able to have every program in every school, but we have to make sure that as a district, we're able to offer programming for students who have an IEP within the district. Each year, the Office of Special Services mails placement letters to parents at the beginning of August so that parents are aware of any changes of location so they can properly prepare for these changes in advance. Letters were mailed this year to all homes on August 3rd, 2023, to provide parents with adequate notice. But I do want to stress that it's imperative that parents help us by keeping that contact information updated in Genesis, because those are the addresses that we are continuing to use. So if there's a change, please let us know. And also email and telephone numbers so that we can guarantee that the information that we're sending is being received. Regarding the process, placement location cannot be completed at the end of the school year, as the Office of Special Services continues to assess students and conduct IEP meetings throughout the summer through our ESY program to ensure that all CCSD students are being provided the services that they deserve, as well as completing the enrollment process as students transfer into our district. We compile the information from students until the end of July and provide placements once the data has been finalized to confirm that students receive an appropriate program based on their needs and IEP specifications. Mrs. Landy, Tashara Landy, who is our Deputy Assistant Superintendent for Special Services, and her team are available to have a meeting regarding specific concerns upon receipt of a written request to any changes or any concerns that you do have. In addition, she can be reached directly at 856-448-5583. That's 856-448-5583, and she is on standby, ready, willing, and able to assist. With regard to art education, Ms. Roxana Diaz, thank you so much for your deep concern for keeping art alive for all of our students. It is our priority to foster students' well-being, their personal growth, and academic success in their learning environments. The Camden City School District takes advantage of visual arts partnerships that enable our students to express themselves and tell their stories. Our students have been able to showcase their work through various avenues at Subaru. There was a Black History event held there. Rutgers, there was a virtual museum held at Rutgers. The Philadelphia Fresh Artists, the American Water Company, the Philadelphia Flower Show, and many other large venues. At our May 2023 board meeting, many of our students' work was displayed right here in the hallways and in our district-wide art showcase, and it was very successful. Through theme and project-based learning, interdisciplinary connections, social emotional learning activities, art exhibitions, contests, and more, art education is becoming part of our students' lifelong toolbox, and we are continuously improving our efforts in that area, because we know that many students are engaged through the arts, and we want to continue that and foster that engagement. Mr. Miller, thank you so much for coming this evening and for speaking and sharing your concern, your advocacy to the board. We are unable, unfortunately, to comment directly on personnel matters, but we do thank you for your comments. Mr. Ruiz Baroa, we also thank you for coming and sharing this evening and speaking about and sharing your advocacy and sharing and being vulnerable and sharing very personally how you have been impacted by the educator that you advocated for. We're unable, again, to speak on personnel matters, but we do appreciate your comments and we thank you for them. Principal Montague, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your advocacy for Davis School. And thanks for coming just to say thank you. I'm sure our facilities team and all of those who are working hard on the project at Davis really appreciate it. I know we do, and I'm sure our board does as well. We are very proud and excited of the enhancements to Davis Family School, along with the other facilities projects across the district, and we are even more excited about the continued enhancements that are set to come. With regard to the pharmacy tech program and BRIM, Ms. Neal, thank you for your comments. The Camden City School District has the first ever in the state of New Jersey state pharmacy tech certification program. This program allows students to graduate high school as certified pharmacy techs. 75% of students in our first year of the program found employment in local pharmacies. This year, we expanded the program to include patient care technician, EMT, and pharmacy tech. We currently have 10 students interested in participating in the pharmacy tech course at Brim for the 23-24 school year. We have 7 students piloting the patient care technician course and 19 students who are participating in the EMT course. We are one of the only districts offering such a variety of healthcare certification courses, so we definitely share in your passion, and we will continue to work hard to expand the opportunity so that more young people have a chance to explore these areas and to have gainful employment even while they are students. We also thank you for your comments with regard to our African American and Latinx studies. We are definitely looking forward to continuing to ensure that our young people know who they are so they know where they're going. And thank you so much. That concludes my responses, and I'll turn it back into the hands of our board president. I'm sorry, to see if there are any comments from the board. Thank you. Teamwork makes the dream work. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent. Are there any comments now from any of the board members? Yes, I think you thoroughly addressed those needs and those concerns of the community. And, I just want to highlight to Madam Superintendent on the tech program, Mr. Levy's hard work, and you as well. Said in a few meetings, I was there to witness that as it came on and it started growing. And we was happy to see children working today and highlighting some of the Bell's Pharmacy and others for allowing our young people to have gainful employment and to move on. So thank you much for that. Also, I think that was it, but I think you carried everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Board President. At this time, I'll turn it over to the Board Secretary for Business Office items.
Thank you, Superintendent. Ladies and gentlemen of the Board, I present to you this evening our Business Office of Finance items for approval, which includes the acceptance of as being a subrecipient of the STAR NOLA grant, creating the Innovators Academy at Morgan Village, as discussed in the Superintendent's presentation, as well as the amended preschool education budget with additional funding from the state of New Jersey. And then finally, we have our approval of our July and August bill lists, totaling $70,256,878.85. Are there any questions? Hearing none, I turn it back to
I don't have any questions on that, but I just remembered my thought that I wanted to add balance to what I said earlier. I just wanted to make the community know that many of you know that Brother Minister was, I wouldn't say an advocate for school choice. I understood it. However, we want equity with traditional public schools. I think it's equal across the board now, even though some studies have shown that I've read lately about some of the funding sources to other school types here in the city of Camden. But however, we want the upgrades that the facilities team is doing under BA, Mr. Cox, to get our schools up to par, whereas though we can be in a competition with other school types that had other kind of funding to bring it in to, balance the field out in our educational process. But we want to be firm and sure that as a community, all of us as leadership, that our children are not for sale. We want to make sure that. Okay, we're not going back 400 years, but we do want the best for our young people. We want families to have choices, but today we're talking about the choices in traditional public schools that many of our hearts are tied to. So I just want to add balance to that conversation of where we at here with the Camden City School District. Thank you.
Thank you, Board President. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sure.
I'm sorry, yes. Just on the presentation of what you're presenting, I saw that one of the line items that we have there, one of the resolutions, just wanted to shout out the superintendent administration is first day of school. We're going to be taking tours of the different schools. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I wanted to thank you for opening that to board members to be able to firsthand go in there into our schools and see the conditions ourselves. Not saying that you're lying or anything, but I think I just want to point out the fact of how the district is taking those extra steps to make sure that we, the board members, are included, and I wanted to make sure I pointed out that. And also thank you for all of the updates that we have made to our various buildings. Some of my notes have disappeared here, but I guess I'll end it with the fact that I didn't mention it earlier, but I'm just very grateful of the point that we have reached the capacity of what we need for security, and our custodians, which those folks work so very hard in our buildings to maintain our students safe. And I'm so glad to hear that we have reached that number of almost capacity, just missing one, right back there, just missing one person. Yeah, thank you so much for what you guys are doing. That's very much appreciated, and our custodians, thank you very much.
Turn it back over to the district. Thank you.
Thank you, Board President. At this time, order tonight. Thank you. Please forgive me. In accordance with the powers vested in the State District Superintendent under Title 18A, I hereby approve today's superintendent's agenda items and business office agenda items. I turn it back to the hands of our Board Secretary for adjournment.
Thank you, Superintendent. At this time, ladies and gentlemen of the board, I'll now open the floor for motion to adjourn. We have a motion by Mr. Leyva Martinez. Do we have a second? A second by Ms. Gillespie. All in favor? Any opposed? We are hereby adjourned as of 7:46 p.m. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great evening and be careful going home.